No, I'm terribly sorry. Not just at the moment, I'm afraid. Well, I don't really have any need for life insurance, shall we say. I think if you read the label on the tin, you'd understand. Yeah. Thanks all the same. Ta-ta. I'm ever so sorry about that. I really am ever so sorry about that. Just put it out of the way, you know. You would never guess how busy I am these days with the constant phone calls and text messages and faxes that come in all the time. It's quite burdensome, really, but I don't moan about it. Even then, it wasn't a moan, it was just a statement, really. Anyway, I do digress. Hello and welcome once more to Ask God. It's very nice to be. I trust you're all keeping well. I've had absolutely stacks and stacks of emails and texts. They just fly in these days, and some people do go old school, as we would say, and pray. And there's no problem with it. I like hearing prayers. It's really nice to keep in contact with you all. I do prefer the old school method as well, truth be told, but we're not complaining, as I say. So anyway, moving swiftly on, we'll just go to our first question, which is from Sophie Dulcet of Fence Houses, I believe, who asks, well, what do you do in your spare time? Does God ever stop working and rest? Well, if you do recall, I did say about the seventh day. Some people do trade on Sundays, but we'll deal with you when you get here. So anyway, yes, in short, there's the expression 7 days without rest makes 1 week. You know, says it all really, doesn't it? But in answer to your question, Sophie, I'm rather keen on Strictly Come Dancing. Johnny Mathis, CSI series, I like the Miami one in particular. Beyonce, SpongeBob SquarePants, Tina Turner, Bruno Mars, Toby Mac, songs of praise. I like a spot of 10-pin bowling now and again, and I rather like the X Factor, seeing all the promising talent coming through, and I do like a good game of snooker as well, and I also like spending time with my homies, Raphael, Gabriel, Mikhail and Uriel. We have a good laugh, maybe watch a couple of episodes of Star Trek, a game of darts, something like that. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Sophie. Yeah, I do rest, and let other people take the reins from time to time. Mainly you guys, you know, because you do have faith, and that's a big boon, as I like to say. Next we have Angus Gotanaga, who asks something most people often ask me: what did you do before everything was created? Well, in short, I had a good think. It was a bit like meditating, really. My mind was just buzzing with ideas, and I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I did. So I just gave the command, live, and everything just sort of came about, really. You know, make it a bit more sort of understandable for you chaps. So there's various ideas that float around. But I suppose staying on the same theme, Mr. Vincent van der Graaf generator asks, was there a Big Bang? Well, sort of. We had to knock through a couple of universes, really, or planes as we call them, so we had to get the builders in. So yeah, it was a bit noisy from time to time. In short, where I live, it is a bit of an amorphous plane, really. It just wobbles about a bit, like jelly. It's constantly forming and reforming, but it sort of is but isn't. Bit like sort of Sunderland city centre, really. You know, if you get my drift. Anyway, I do digress. These planes, they often cross each other or bounce off one another. And like I said, the builders came in, knocked through a couple of planes, found some good foundations, built the basic construction, laid the damp cores, made good. Then the foreman came up and asked me basically, what next? So I thought about it a bit, and I thought to myself, you know what, it's a bit dark. So I said those now famous words, let there be light. And the foreman threw a whole load of hydrogen on the floor, and the place is lit up. It's quite beautiful. And then one of the builders came out and he told me what they'd done. We had a good look around, and I thought, yeah, I like this. And then he asked me if there's anything else they can do. So laughingly, I just said, no, I think we just call it a day. And the phrase stuck ever since, basically. Anyway, moving on, there are lots of people out there who are asking, why did you create evil? Why are there insects and bacteria that can kill, and diseases? Or why are there natural disasters? All these sorts of questions. And they basically say, do I have an answer for this? Well, as mentioned before, everything has been created equally. Every combination of atoms was given complete freedom, or free will, if you like, to be. Unfortunately, some things are of a certain nature that we would call evil, but there's enough of you good chaps out there to put this stuff right, basically. So why don't I do something about it is another question that's frequently associated with that. Well, I did, and I do, and I have done, and will continue to do. People frequently pray, asking me to intervene, and don't forget, part of the meaning of life is all about opportunity. So I not only answer prayer, but also give everything opportunity for you to come together and challenge the somewhat negative behaviours. If you ever worked in a call centre, in customer service, you probably know what I mean there. You get some chap on the phone and says, I want to speak to the manager. The manager comes on with the best of intentions and endeavours to get it done for you, really. And that's a bit like how we operate here at Bliss headquarters, since the rebranding of heaven. Right, so, you know, going back to the answer again, there's opportunities really to find cures, make discoveries, display kindness and love, compassion, coming together for a good cause. You know, I really encourage this sort of thing, because if I just simply did everything, you'd find life a bit boring, in all fairness. So yes, we'll move on to the next question. It's from Miss Piffin, who asks, is there death, or why is there death? I'll broach both questions because they're really the same. Well, there's not really death so much. This is part of the cycle, really. Recycling goes on constantly, as I'm sure I've iterated before. Things never really die, they just change state, really. The star becomes bone, another becomes your eyes, rocks become sand, flowers become seeds. I could go on and go on. The things just change state and form, really. Flesh returns to the earth and the air, and spirit seeks its next adventure, which is a rather good adventure once you realise what's going on. And so I hope that answers your question, Miss Piffin. Next, Strawberry Flamingo, curious name, asks, is there anything that we've created, do you think, I'm so glad they created that? Well, yes, there's a few things, really. Chocolate, sense of humour, charitable organisations, linoleum flooring, ingenious that was. Jigsaw puzzles, I'm rather partial to a jigsaw puzzle, I like that. Falafel, Mr. Bean, Angel Delight, the angels love that as well, ironically. Sudoku, and I'm rather partial to the odd bagel, have it be told, but lots of things. And conversely to this question, Andrew Stroller asks me, is there anything that I don't like that humans have created? Well, in short, waste. I can't stand waste, really. Mobile phones, bane of most people's existence at the moment. Barriers, I can't stand barriers. Don't like flavoured chocolate. I'm a bit of a chocolate purist, you know, mint chocolate or chocolate orange. Very much a chocolate purist. It's just my own opinion there. And just ordinary chocolate should be sufficient, in my mind. And then there's Sunday trading, as I've mentioned before. South Park, false advertising, Piers Morgan. I could go on really. And another question on the lips of many really is, does the devil exist? And I often answer that question with another question, other than Donald Trump. There's been the likes of him and Robert Mugabe, Hitler, but like I say, not so much one person really is the devil. There's more devilish characteristics that come through from time to time in a person. So, the devil isn't a real person per se. It's more characteristics. Best way to describe it really. When you get here, you'll understand exactly what I mean. You'll see everything for how it really is. But anyway, hang on. Right, alright, right. So I'm afraid I've gone over it just a little bit. Got to keep the editors happy. So I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. And so until next time, goodbye.